Hi guys, welcome back to Reserved Investments on YouTube. So I wanted to do a really quick video on a topic that has come up over and over again on certain high-profile auction sites, even sites like eBay, even collecting forums. The term that I want to talk about in this video is quote-unquote investment grade. What does it mean? How does it apply to the greater antiques and collectibles trade? If we look at the term in the realm of finance, specifically corporate bonds, investment grade simply means a bond with a very high credit rating, of which there is less risk or virtually no risk of default from the issuer of that bond. So if we're talking like a company like Walmart, Walmart has a very high credit rating in the financial world. So if they would issue corporate debt, aka corporate bonds, the rates would be fairly low, but the chance of them defaulting on that debt would be virtually non-existent because of who Walmart is, how much capital they have to work with, and brand recognition and the fundamentals of their financial status on Wall Street would most likely prevent those bonds from ever defaulting. So a Walmart corporate bond would in most cases be investment grade. Now, how does this apply to the greater antiques and collectibles trade? Well, if you search eBay, if you search some of the higher end comic book dealers, even in the realm of antiques and or coins and currency, I've even seen it applied, believe it or not guys, in the realm of vintage toys. So let me help you guys out because a lot of people are misled as to what actually constitutes an investment grade antique and or collectible in the greater marketplace. First of all, for something to be considered investment grade, it has to be in the top 15 or 10% of the marketplace. Meaning, if we're talking about a comic book, and you're looking to buy a giant size X-Men 1 in CGC 9.2, you may in your mind equate that with an investment grade collectible and or vintage comic book. In all actuality though, a CGC 9.2 of giant size X-Men 1, although it is a key issue and we're talking about a grade equivalent with near mint minus on the grading scale, is not an investment grade collectible and or antique. Of course, in this case, it would be a collectible. The same thing can be said for a common piece of Tiffany glass that may be in near mint condition from the early 1900s, of which they made thousands of similar design patterns in that fashion. And if you happen to have one of those pieces, that doesn't make it an investment grade antique. Let me give you a third example. I collect coins. I collect currency. I love Carson City silver Morgan dollars in high grade. Well, the problem is there's a lot of Carson City silver Morgan dollars out there in mint state 62, mint state 63. You have to really look at the year of issue and see how scarce that minting or that year of issue is on the market. For instance, in 1882, Carson City Morgan silver dollar in mint state 63 is not an investment grade coin. It would be if it was in 65 or 66 mint state condition, but not at 63, which is the bottom tier of the uncirculated parameters in coin grading. Now, again, as I said, if it was in MS, mint state 65, mint state 66, you would have something where you could consider it investment grade. So you really have to take this into account when you look at some of these items that are for sale, not only on the secondary market, but also being peddled by higher end auction companies, whether it be Heritage Auctions, who I love, Hakes Auctions, Morphy's Auctions, Calvin's Auctions, Sotheby's. It doesn't matter what we're talking about, guys. To understand investment grade refers to the top 10 to 15% of the greater collectibles and or antiques marketplace. I'm going to even take this a step further. Investment grade also implies liquidity. We've talked a lot on this channel about the importance of liquidity, not only in the financial markets, not only in the real estate markets, but also in the greater antiques and collectibles trade. You know, one of the reasons I get asked a lot why I put a lot of money in coins and currency and items of that nature. Well, right now, the greater coin and currency markets are at a point where they have a market cap of roughly $4 billion every year. What that means, every year, people are going into the coin and currency marketplace and they're spending, on average, $4 billion altogether, all money being invested in that marketplace combined. That does not include people buying precious metals, meaning it doesn't even take into account silver or gold bullion. That $4 billion market cap is the size of the collectible coin marketplace. So when you interact in that marketplace, it becomes extremely liquid for higher end coins. And one of the things that I think that people make the mistake of, especially in modern mass-produced collectibles and pop culture-based items, is they sit there and they look at sales figures for like Nintendo Switch games or Nintendo 3DS games, and they equate that to the vintage video game collectibles market. I've said this before, guys. You can't look at the toy market or the video game market or the current Magic the Gathering market and apply those sales figures to the collectibles marketplace, because the average person that's going out and buying a box of Dominaria in regards to Magic the Gathering, or, you know, Roaring Skies in Pokemon, and or your Nintendo Amiibo, they're not always buying this stuff to collect in, to speculate in, to invest. Believe it or not, there are people out there, and I meet them daily, that just want to buy a Nintendo Switch to play Luigi's Mansion 3. They don't care about the collectability of the game and or the system 10, 20, 30 years out. As a matter of fact, a lot of these people, literally, if Nintendo would stop production on the Nintendo Switch, which probably 5 to 10 years from now they will, they would take that system to GameStop, trade it in, and get the latest Nintendo system at that time. A lot of people are not buying a lot of your pop culture-based collectibles for so-called speculation, collectability, and or investment. So you can't look at sales numbers for games like Pokemon Omega Ruby and think that just because this game sold 11 million copies, 20 years down the line, everybody's going to want a copy of this. That's a fallacy. This would never even qualify as an investment-grade antique and or collectible. I don't care how far out we go. There's too many that are being hoarded and saved. It's ridiculous. So what's my point in this video? I just want you guys to be aware that if you go on a higher end auction site or you go on eBay and you come across the term investment grade, antique or collectible, I don't care whether we're talking about antiques and or collectibles in this sense, understand that you still have to do your research. Just because something is important in the greater marketplace, for instance, I use the example in the comic book marketplace, Giant Size X-Men 1. That is a key issue that came out in 1975. I agree completely with that. The problem is, to get that particular comic book in true investment grade condition, I know you guys are going to hate me to say this, you would have to buy a 9.6 or above. Even a 9.4 isn't in investment grade condition. That, again, that refers to the top tier of the market. That 10 to 15% of the market that's up there reserved for those type of items. Be very careful not to fall into a fallacy where everything you're going after is investment grade when you don't understand how that term relates to quality, condition, scarcity, and or rarity overall. I hope this video has been helpful. It's a very short video today. If you have any feedback, comments, please let me know in the comments section. Thanks, guys, and have a great night.